Welcome to Tokyosaurus. So what's up in Japan? Boruto just dropped their latest bomb of an episode where we're finally getting into the climax of the chunin exams arc, which many of us have already seen in the Boruto movie that came out almost 2 years ago. The Boruto anime seems to be doing everything better than the movie so far, probably because it has much more time to fit in everything they want to develop, and this episode was a prime example of that with the exact same sequences but paced much better. Even having seen the movie, this episode added a lot more to what was already in the movie with the Kazekage and Mizukage fight, with Yurashiki, or the tease again with Mitsuki almost going sage mode because he thought Boruto was legit going to die, which makes sticking around pointless anyways, to Mitsuki getting denied again to use his ability. But the most important part to this whole segment where Naruto stands his ground, as Hokage prioritizing to protect his whole village over all else, was that this whole chapter or whole arc was for this one moment. The purpose of this chunin arc was not just for the eventual big fight to come, it was not just to introduce the Otsutsuki clan to the plot, the purpose of this arc was to lead up to this turning point in Boruto's development. The moment where Boruto finally comes to terms with his relationship with Naruto and matures maybe just a little from being the bratty kid whose motivations were purely driven by his desire to prove his dad wrong to being probably still a bratty kid, but now at least his soul is free to move on from blaming everything that goes wrong in his life onto Naruto. And this whole moment starts at the end of episode 61 where Naruto catches Boruto cheating in the chunin exam with his gadget. And instead of apologizing and accepting responsibility like he should, Boruto responded by throwing the blame right back at Naruto and saying that he wouldn't be in this situation right now if Naruto would have just communicated with him this whole time. We're not going to go into whether or not Boruto was right or wrong about that, because the blame for this whole incident is definitely not solely on Boruto, as we can even see Naruto in the next frame looking lost for words and maybe even a little regretful for not having paid attention to his son enough. But moving on from that, that's when they get interrupted by Karasuke, and Boruto gets his first real dose of reality, when he realized that the man that he thought was his friend this whole time, the person who was supportive of all his antics, the person who he thought accepted him for who he was just doing all of that to use him to promote his new tool. Karasuke didn't last long on the big stage as Momoshiki appeared right after Boruto gets his first feeling of betrayal, and so the battle begins. A pretty cool sequence continues where we see Sasuke protecting Sarada and Naruto protecting Boruto, and they begin to talk about the Otsutsuki clan. Basically, they plant chakra seeds onto planets and harvest them for the chakra fruit to revive the divine tree, which essentially gives them pills that give them eternal life and can instantly and effortlessly give them really strong powers. The keywords here are instantly and effortlessly, as the moment Momoshiki says those words, we get a cut to Boruto's helpless face just realizing he was pretty much doing the same thing with his gadgets, while Naruto begins to lay it all out as to why that is wrong. As Naruto explains, simply put, you're cowards who rely on doping, and when you're just relying on these tools and drugs, you're just being controlled by them, and that is not true or real power. And as you will see later in the next arc, Boruto definitely took these words to heart and will form his own opinion on these tools. But as you can probably tell, Momoshiki's purpose in this story is very much to drive Boruto's development to get him to understand his relationship with everything around him. Momoshiki is pretty much what Boruto would have become if he was to continue to rely on these tools instead of honing his own skills. Pretty much an existence that is driven to sustain that tool. We are even gifted a mini fight between Gaara, Chojuro, and Yurashiki, which drives home the same point with a battle between people who have honed their skills with long training against someone who relies on powerful tools they probably stole to fight. I definitely think this theme is going to be a recurring theme throughout the Boruto series, and one they will definitely continue to explore and see new perspectives of, especially with Boruto's generation growing up with all these new tools and probably understanding the uses of them much better than Naruto's generation. I mean, if you just look at Denki, who was still sitting around on his laptop while a foreign alien was about to wreck the whole place down, I think it's safe to say these tools aren't going anywhere. So it's really going to be about how do we learn to coexist with all this new technology. But let's finish up Boruto's part. Naruto releases Kyuubi to protect his villagers as the fight gets more serious, and Boruto is surprised because he has never seen this part of his dad before. Kyuubi starts charging up for an attack, but doesn't end up using it, and Boruto asks Sasuke why he doesn't use that attack. Sasuke explains that Naruto can easily obliterate that projectile, but that would also destroy everything around him, which also meant the village. And this was when it sort of clicked for Boruto. Everything Naruto did was to protect his village, and while he's obviously heard it before while growing up, Boruto has never seen it in action before. This is really his first taste of danger for his village, and what it really means to be the leader and Hokage of the village. There is a beautiful moment where Boruto enters a flashback mode to when he was a kid. Boruto can feel that the chakra that Naruto is bleeding through the entire area is the same chakra he felt from his dad while he was growing up happily, probably during a time where Naruto had a lot of free time to spend with his family. The same chakra that he is now being protected by and also protecting the entire village. And through this fatherly chakra, not only do we see just how far Naruto has come and not just realizing his lifelong dream, but just how far he is willing to go to keep that dream going. It is at this moment that Boruto realizes and empathizes with, even if just for a moment, that his dad really treats his whole village as part of his own family. The whole village stands behind Naruto crying for him to stop. Hinata realizes the situation and runs towards Naruto, and at the very last moment, we see probably the coolest shot of Naruto in all of Boruto and Naruto combined. He looks back at Boruto with a hint of sadness and then a smile, just like when the 4th Hokage sacrificed himself to save the village and left Naruto all alone, which was how Naruto's own story started. And here we have Naruto looking back at Boruto and probably his whole village and giving a smile at the end because he also knew he gave it his all and accomplished all that he has. Such a meaningful moment, and we are left with Boruto's cry for his father and a blank white screen. I never thought I would get emotional for Boruto, especially since I've already seen the movie, but this is definitely my favorite scene in all of Naruto and Boruto so far. But that is my take on what I think is the chunin arc's climax. If you haven't watched the movie yet, don't spoil yourself, just wait for the next episode to find out the biggest question that remains, and that is obviously whether or not Naruto survived the explosion. The Boruto series is getting better and better, especially with the way the anime is handled lately, and I can't wait to see the future arcs of Boruto. But anyways, do you think our boy Boruto has grown up just a little after all that just happened? Or do you think he's just the same bratty kid? As usual, let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to thumbs up the video and hit the bell for notifications if you want to be updated with the latest that's going on in Japan, and I'll see you guys in the next one.